He is trying to tell his beloved that your sorrow is more for me than any other pain in my life. Can you tell this? That the whole world is mine? In this world, we feel we are alone. We are isolated. We do not get that confidence to tell that the whole world is mine. Not only love is the thing of pleasure, there are other pleasures too. Hello everyone and welcome. This is Shobita S. Aradhya, your lecturer, English department, and from Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. Today we are going to discuss a poem, Do Not Ask of Me, My Love by Faiz Ahmad Faiz. This poem is influenced by the Sufi tradition of poetry. So we'll see how it is written, what does it mean, and what is the poet trying to tell us, what is that we need to understand from this poem. Let us start. You know that we'll discuss these things, these contents in every poem. That is poet, about the poet, who is he and what are the awards and rewards he has got. And next we'll see why the poet has given this title to the poem and significance of the poem. Then we'll discuss each and every line of the poem and its meaning. Then we'll go for question and answers, discuss the question and answers which are important for your examination, and finally we'll conclude the poem. Shall we start? Yes. Here is the poet. Who is the poet? Faiz Ahmad Faiz is the poet of this poem, and he was born in Sialkot, Punjab, and he was an intellectual, revolutionary poet and one of the most famous poets of Urdu language from Pakistan. So, when he was born, Sialkot was in Punjab, but present it is in Pakistan. He was an intellectual, very intelligent and revolutionary poet. So whatever he has written has created a revolution. Who have read have joined that revolution. He started the new form of poetry and his poetry were very influencing to the people. One of the most famous poets of Urdu language in Pakistan. So he is one of the most famous Urdu poets in Pakistan. He varied career as a teacher, army officer, journalist, political leader, trade unionist, and as a brilliant poet won him a wide audience. So what all has he done in his life? He was a teacher, army officer, journalist, political leader, trade unionist, and above all this, a brilliant poet who had won wide audience for him. Faiz was a recipient of Lenin Peace Prize in the year 1962. So this Lenin Peace Prize is given by Soviet Union. So he was a recipient of the Lenin Peace Prize in the year 1962. He was influenced by South Asia's Sufi tradition. You must have heard about Sufi tradition. It is they surrender themselves to the God and they write poetry, they sing songs. So he was very much influenced by South Asia's Sufi tradition. So his poems are found in Sufi style. Okay, this is about the poet. Next we'll see the title. Why has he given the title as Do Not Ask of Me, My Love? And here he has given the title as that because to appeal his beloved. He is appealing it to his beloved. So he is telling, do not ask of me, my love. Here the beloved is a metaphor for his muse or country of his birth. So who is his beloved? It is the country, okay, or his muse for which he is amused, okay. So that is the metaphor here. So he compares his country to his beloved. Though the love of his beloved compels his attention, He cannot turn a blind eye to the misery and suffering of humanity around him. So here in this poem, he is telling that something, what he wants to tell to his beloved. But here, he cannot forget. When he is completely in love, he is not able to forget the miseries of the country. So what miseries he is finding around him, he is not able to ignore that. So in this poem, we can find both love and misery of the country. Okay. So this is the different style of the poet of this poem. Next, we'll see the significance. What is the significance of the poem? The speaker of the poem tells his beloved not to ask of him for the love he once had for her. So what is he trying to tell? Not to ask the love which he had for her once back in his life. Okay, not to ask it back now, which he had earlier. And do not ask of me my love. The title itself tells that he is trying to tell the same, that don't ask me of your love now. Do not ask it back now. The speaker's life was resplendent on the account of his love for his beloved. So it represents the love of his beloved. Life to him looked very young and blooming. So according to him, life was very young and it was blooming. It was just blooming. So in that phase of life, he is trying to tell us not to ask back the love. Okay. So this is about the significance of the poem. Next, we'll see the poem, Do Not Ask of Me My Love. Okay. The lines start here with the same phrase, do not ask of me my love, that love I once had for you. So he's telling, do not ask of me my love, the love that I had once for you. There was a time when life was bright and young and blooming. So he's telling, there was a time back that the life was very bright from your love. So that brightness from where had he got? From the love of his beloved. Okay. And the love and the life was very young that time. It was too young and it was blooming. So a flower, a bud starts blooming. That is the beautiful phase of a flower. Okay. From bud to a flower, the blooming time is the beautiful phase of life. So he tells that life once was bright, young and blooming. And your sorrow was much more than any other pain. So if you had sorrow, whatever sorrow you had was much more than any other pain in life, in anybody's life. So he tells that any other pain is nothing before your sorrow. Okay. So he's trying to tell his beloved that your sorrow is more for me than any other pain in my life. Your beauty gave the spring everlasting youth. He's telling her beauty, the beloved's beauty, had given everlasting youth to spring. Spring means here the new leaf. When we see the new leaf, they are grown. So that is the time called spring. Okay. Your beauty gave the spring everlasting youth. So her beauty gives the spring everlasting youth, it seems. So if the leaves are growing now, they'll stay for another 10 months. Only after 10 months, again the trees will shed their leaves. Correct? So he's telling that your beauty gave the spring everlasting youth. So usually leaves, they grow and they just shed down by the time of winter. But here he says that your beauty has given the spring everlasting youth. So which will not end ever. That kind of youth it has given to the spring. Your eyes, yes, your eyes were everything, all else was vain. So he tells that your eyes were everything and all else was vain. Vain means waste, nothing. Okay. Waste. Your eyes were everything and anything else was a vain. So here it tells how much he loved and how he is expressing his love, how important was his beloved to him, and how he is expressing or what all his beloved was for him. Okay. In the next lines, while you were with me, I thought the world is mine. See the confidence he gets when he is with his beloved. When you were with me, the world was mine. The whole world was mine. Can you tell this? That the whole world is mine? In this world, we feel we are alone. We are isolated. We do not get that confidence to tell that the whole world is mine. But this poet, he gets that confidence when he is with his beloved. He tells that the world was mine when you were with me. Though now I know that it was an illusion. He tells, now I know that it was an illusion. It was my imagination. It was not true that if you are with me, the world will be mine. It is my illusion. He knows that. But he tells, that's the way I imagined it to be. So how he imagined? He wanted it to be like that. He wanted it like if his beloved is with him, then the whole world should be his. So he wanted or he imagined it to be like that, to be illusioned. For there are other sorrows in the world than love. Because why he thought that? Love is beautiful. He tells that because beyond our love, there were many sorrows in the world. There were many problems, many miseries in the world. Our love was not the complete, not the whole world. But if I imagine, if I illusion that the whole world is mine when I am with you, then my world will be filled of love. I won't be able to see the misery, problems, sorrows of the world around me. So he tells that I wanted it to be like that. I imagined it to be like that because there are other sorrows in the world than love and other pleasures too. Not only love is the thing of pleasure, there are other pleasures too. Yes, love is not the only thing which pleasurizes us. We have so many other things that gives us pleasure. So he tries to tell that here, do not ask of me, my love, that love I once had for you. So these lines are repeated again. These two lines are repeated again. This poem is not having a regular rhyme scheme, but the expression, the feel is completely different from the other poems. So in the next lines we'll see woven in silk and satin and brocade. So you know silk and satin are the different fabrics of cloth, and brocade. Brocade is a design where golden or silver thread are embroidered, which looks like embossed design on the cloth. So he tells woven in silk and satin and brocade, those dark and brutal curses of countless centuries. So how these brutality and curses of countless centuries, many years, thousands of years, how it is covered? It is covered with silk, satin and brocade. So the outer appearance is very beautiful to see, but inside what all is happening, that he is trying to bring in these two lines. He tells that woven in silk and satin and brocade, those dark and brutal curses of countless centuries. Since many centuries there is brutality seen. So bodies bathed in blood. So how the bodies are? Bodies bathed in blood, complete of blood, smeared with dust. Those bodies are smeared in dust, covered with dust, sold from marketplace to marketplace. So these, the bodies covered with silk, satin and brocade, which had the sorrows or brutality of many centuries. How are they? They are bathed in blood and smeared with dust. What are they done? They are taken from one marketplace to other place to be sold. Bodies risen from the cauldron of diseases. Cauldron means it is a big vessel of metal which has handles to be carried. So very big vessels used for cooking for large number of people. Okay, so cauldrons of disease. So what is this cauldron containing? It is containing many diseases. Bodies risen from the cauldron of diseases, pus dripping from their festering sores. So pus means, you know, a yellow or whitish kind of liquid which comes out from the wound. Okay, pus dripping from their festering sores. Festering means the wound, okay, the cut or wound from which is coming out. My eyes must also turn to these. So he tells, I can't see only love, only the beautiful thing in my life. I need to turn my eyes to these kind of sorrows and pains also. Okay, so he brings the two contrast things in the poem. One is love and other is the misery. Okay, next lines. You are beautiful still, my love, but I am helpless too. He tells, even now, long back, this was the situation. You were beautiful, but you are beautiful even now. And I am helpless too. Even now I am helpless. I can't do anything to you. Of there are other sorrows in the world than love. Why he can't do anything? Why is he helpless? Because there are other sorrows in the world than love and other pleasures too. And there are other pleasures too to be seen. Do not ask of me, my love, that love I once had for you. So he tells, do not ask of me, my love, that love I once had for you. It was beautiful, love was beautiful, your companion made me strong in the world, and your love was my world. I felt that the whole world is mine, but beyond this there were many problems which I could not ignore then, not ignore even now. Okay, so this is what the poet is trying to tell us through this poem, and now we'll discuss some question answers which may be asked for your examination. When does the speaker realize what he thought about love was not true? When did he realize? When he saw that there are other sorrows and pleasures in the world. Correct? That's the way I imagined it to be. Suggests that the speaker's concept of love is naive, the speaker's realization of realities, the speaker's view of love was just a wishful thinking. So the answer to this question, that's the way I imagined it to be, suggests that the speaker's realization of realities. So when he realizes the realities, okay, that time he tells that that's the way I imagined it to be. So he thought only love is everything and love made him to conquer the world, but later he is able to see that there are many sorrows. He experiences many sorrows and pleasures in life other than love. For there are other sorrows in the world than love. Here sorrows refers to miseries. Okay, so what does it refer to? It refers to the miseries caused by poverty and deprivation. So why these miseries are seen? Why the bodies are shed with blood? Why the bodies are in the cauldron of diseases? Because of poverty and deprivation. Why some people suffer all this? Because they are under the poverty level and they are deprived from the society. Okay, so these are some of the important short answer type questions. Now let us discuss long answer type questions. What does the line, those dark and brutal curses of countless centuries, suggest? What does it suggest? That since many centuries, these people are deprived, they are suffering from poverty, they are not able to rise their level of income, and they are downtrodden, they are treated as outcast people, they are suffering. Okay, this line suggests all those. Then what harsh realities of life have drawn the speaker's attention much more than the beauty of his beloved? So, which is much more than the beauty of his beloved? The harsh realities are that the people are suffering from diseases, they are deprived of food, they have many other sufferings which is not seen by the people who are enjoying their life filled with love. Okay, so more details of the question answers will be given to the students of Vidhyaashram very soon. Okay, you can look at the answers and prepare for the examinations. So next, let us see the conclusion, how to conclude the poem. The poem concludes that one understands the world better for all its pleasures and pains when one matures with the passage of time. So when we are too young to understand the world, we see only beautiful things. So as the ages pass, as we get the experience in the world, we see that there are many more pleasures and pains to be experienced in life. Okay, this is what the poet is trying to give a message from his poem. Okay, so this is all about the poem Do Not Ask of Me, My Love. Okay, with few more details and other things, other information, I'll come back to you. Until then, take care, bye-bye, and thank you.